All right, Coach, week 6, we're live from the Bill Flynn press box. Probably one of the cooler press boxes in, I'm going to say high school football in the country, not knowing any other press boxes, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. Tough loss against Southern Lehigh. Again, we've talked about it before, catastrophic errors. That was a very good Southern Lehigh team. It's a very good Pottsville team. We're just not figuring out how to win those games.
Absolutely. Started off strong, with the scoring drive and competed defensively, played well, ran to the ball, lots of hats on the football. Tremendous individual effort by Cyril Curry on an interception return that puts us up by 2 scores. That was negated. Hurt us. They scored right after. It was a 14-point swing. And we battled the rest of the way, back and forth, nip and tuck. I mean, they scored 5 times. We scored 4. We're getting there. We're getting better. Wore out a little bit in the second half on the defensive side in terms of missing some tackles. And looked like their size sort of hurt us a little bit, had a little bit of a fatigue factor. But overall, another great effort by the kids. And, we talk about maybe how close we are to being 4-1, but we're not. And we have to recover this week. And this homecoming game against Lehighton, it becomes extremely important for our program.
I know you won't say it because you can't. You're a coach and you have to be impartial. But I watched that interception return. I don't know where they call that back in the block.
It's all part of the game. Sometimes it seems like when things are going well for you, all those things fall in your favor. Because I've been on that side. And also when things aren't going well for you, it seems like you're always fighting from behind and always struggling to create those breaks and turn those opportunities into points and ultimately into wins. And right now it's not happening for us, but we're going to keep moving forward.
Now, it's a second game, too, where right before the half, crucial errors, the 4th and 2, we jump off sides, and before you know it, they get a score with the ball back to start the second half. How do you kind of minimize those? What do you tell the guys?
Yeah, we keep talking about it. We keep explaining it. We keep, correcting on video. We keep just talking about the things we have to do to be successful. We point out to correct, but then we move on and we're positive in the direction of what we have to do, where we have to go. It's disappointing. We have a lot of guys that are making plays for us too. And some of those guys that are making the same errors come back and make a ton of plays too.
Sure.
So we just have to learn that those errors we make have been costing us.
Yeah.
And again, everything we focused on, we seem to be able to correct. That's certainly something we continue to discuss and continue to try to correct.
I don't want to minimize because the team is getting better every week. It might not reflect it in the record, but if you watch the games, we're not being outclassed any game. And if you look at Shamokin, Southern Lehigh, and Tamaqua, they have a 14-1 combined record, so you're not losing to nobodies. I mean, these are good programs that we're taking down to the wire. We just got to figure out a way to kind of get over the hump there.
Yeah, that's good. And we can, I think we sort of can hang our hat on that, but the bottom line is there are no moral victories. We're getting closer. And as long as we're learning from these experiences and we're just a little bit better every single day and every single week, it'll give us the opportunity to win these big games. We're certainly battle tested. We scrimmaged a good team. We played good people. We've been in 4-quarter games. It's just a matter of us staying healthy and us continuing to improve every week. And then we'll be the team that starts getting those breaks, and we'll be the team that makes those big plays and gets those big stops. But until then, we're a hungry football team, and we're trying to work ourselves into that position.
Yeah, I mean, you look at any good program, any good franchise, really. I mean, look at like the Southern Columbia. I mean, they got to that state final. They couldn't get over the hump. Now, you don't even remember that with them. You look at the early days of Berwick, you look at the early days of the Chicago Bulls. I mean, they couldn't get by the Pistons and that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit of that here where it's there. All the pieces are there. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
Yeah, when you have change, you're really focused on the process of it all. I mean, this process, the average fan only sees what happens on Friday nights for a couple hours. This happens every day. This is in our communication. This is in our back in the spring when we first started this thing and how we decided to do things and our summer workouts and our consistency there and the 7-on-7 trips and the preseason meals and the pregame meals and all the things we do are all part of this process of changing the culture. Our in-season lifts have been really good. So it's such a process. So these struggles are part of the process to changing your culture and to be able to win those games. And we're right in the midst of it. And it's not a fast process, but it's a daily grind. And our kids are in the middle of a daily grind. And all we can do right now is get prepared for Lehighton, and then take care of business this week, and then get back to the drawing board, make sure we're even better next week.
Does the team know how close they are, like the players? I guess sometimes as coaches or fans, maybe you think like, man, we're a lot closer than I think. Does the team realize, how close they are to kind of turn this thing around?
Yes, they certainly do. You can't hide from what's actually is happening in your program. We have great practices, not good practices, great practices, great inside drills, great goal line segments, great individual teaching for things we want to get better at. We make plays of practice. We work our special teams. We do everything we have to do to get better, and our kids understand that. So they know they're prepared. It's one thing. Last things we talk about in the locker room before we come out in the field. We couldn't have done anything more this week to be prepared to play this game tonight. So our kids understand that. So they know that we're a few plays away. But they also know some of the things we have to do better to win. We have to generate pressure in the quarterback. It's maybe directly cost us a game not having pressure on the quarterback. So we worked all week on generating pressure on the quarterback. So it's like, I think they know. They think they know what we have to work on, and we emphasize that stuff with them. But I feel like our kids are confident, and our kids know we believe we're on the cusp of a breakout.
What are film sessions like today? I know when I played, if you had a bad play on a Friday, I remember it would just sit with me all weekend because I knew Monday film when you're watching it, and then you're just like counting down the plays until they get to that play, and then just rewind play, and it's just like And it looks so much worse on film all the time. You know what I mean? It didn't feel that bad, but when it's on film, and especially in slow motion, it just looks awful. So
I think we have a very positive culture in our program. We are hard on the kids because we feel that's part of our responsibility. And it's part of what we have to teach them moving forward. When they leave here, they have to understand that life is hard and the world is hard. So we'll be hard on them, but then we forget about it immediately. So it's mostly correction, mostly positivity, mostly moving forward and saying, okay, listen, what can we do better? And this is what we need to do better to be more successful.
Lehighton homecoming week. Lehighton is a big squad. They could present some problems for you.
They're a 3-4. They're a quarters coverage team. They're offensively, they have a quarterback who can throw it and run it that actually missed last week's game that we feel like will be back this week. They have a scat back at running back. They're big up front again. They're another team that when the people come to the game, they're going to say, oh, another team is bigger than Pottsville.
Right,
So it's like they're big again, and they're a better football team, I think, than their 2-3 record. Advertises as well.
Now, homecoming, I saw online a couple of your football players are in the homecoming court.
Yes, I see
how does that work? Is it like halftime? I mean, honestly, is that like a...
It's pretty standard.
Okay.
We've had that before. It's at halftime.
Because we never had that.
Everything's new here for me in terms of how it all sort of shakes down. Forgetting this is obviously our fourth home game, so I'm getting a lot more comfortable here. In the confines of the stadium and how it all functions and works. But obviously, homecoming's a different element that I haven't experienced here before. But I think we have a couple in the homecoming court, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I saw like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So a little trip down memory lane. I was talking to somebody, and they said Coach Reichert, Sensei Reichert, who was one of my guys. Everybody knows my affinity for Sensei. He recruited you back for the Raiders All-Star team for St. Clair because, quote, he needed some toughness. Apparently nobody even thought about driving the lane with you standing there. So you remember that? Apparently that was a big deal when you guys won that St. Clair championship.
I do remember. I don't remember why he recruited me. I remember.
This is for basketball.
Junior high. We had purple T-shirts, Raiders. Reichert's Raiders, and number 33, I believe, for that tournament. But we did win that St. Clair tournament. That was a big tournament too. At that time, that St. Clair tournament and minors tournaments were big tournaments for junior high. And I remember that not really, really well, but I do remember, Scotty, who I ended up actually coaching junior high basketball with down the road.
You coached basketball with him? Okay.
Yeah, he recruited me also to do that. Tony Gomez. Ricky Prokop were on those particular teams, and it was, I guess, the late 90s, I think. So we go a long way. God bless Scotty, and a great man, and we go back a long way.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best.
It's interesting, you talk about coaching points, and he he yelled a lot.
Yes.
He projected a lot.
Yes.
You know, and I remember him telling me we were a little bit of a balance because I was a little more positive and calmer. But he told me, he said, at that age, he really feels like the kids need constant reinforcement as to what was right, what was wrong, that he didn't feel like it could wait.
No, I agree with that.
You know, which is a really interesting point
Yeah.
that I always kept with me, like that constant reinforcement and teaching. He did a really good job with that.
I mean, I'm Scotty's #1 fan, as I'm sure a lot of people are, but I don't think he'd survive today because he was rough on you, but in a good way. It wasn't because he was trying to, because he wanted to win, and he taught you kind of those things. I mean, baseball. I mean, he loved the Raiders. Any kind of commitment to excellence. I remember he brought out my 10-year-old year. We had silver and black, and he told us about the commitment to excellence. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And then you look at Al Davis and everything like that. So he loved that. He was there for the right reasons. But yeah, he was hard on you, but in a loving way, because he was the first person to give you a big hug when you were coming off. So.
Yeah, and trained a lot of kids in basketball in the summer down with his summer league down at JFK. So yeah, no doubt it's a blast from our past, no question. And it's part of how we grew up in this town. Yeah.
So, first half of the season, 2 and 3, obviously not what we wanted here. It's a tale of 2 seasons. So now you have a new season going in. Just some quick thoughts on the first half of the season, how you guys gonna right the ship.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're at the midway point already. We're beyond the midway point really here in preparation for our Week 6 game. It's still one day at a time. We have some really tough. If you look at our back half, you're looking at a really tough stretch. Yeah. We have 2 home games, and our 3 road games are against really good people. Yeah. So it's a challenge for us. That's what we want. Yeah. That's how we're going to grow. Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, we're going to grow by playing good people. We're going to grow by challenging ourselves. We're going to grow by creating a level expectation that we have to find ways to win. So I'm excited about the challenge, and I'm really excited about the homecoming game here. I hope we have a lot of people come back. I hear the alumni band's great. Excellent. I hope we see a lot of players. We can show them the weight room a little bit. With, some of the improvements we made here to the weight room in the stadium. So I'm hoping to see a lot of old players here, and we're excited about the opportunity. All right, Coach. Well, thank you. Roll Tide. Thank you, buddy. Roll Tide. Thank you.